Good evening. This speech is on food. So, there are many different types of ways to prep the food. Whether we're rinsing, we're chopping, we're dicing, there's just so many different ways. But before we can actually start cooking the food, we have to prep it. So, once we prep it, then we start to cook it. There are also many ways to cook the food. We can boil, saute, bake, broil, grill, smoke. I'm sure you've all seen the famous movie of Forrest Gump. And in Forrest Gump, Bubba talks about all the different ways that you can cook shrimp. You can boil them, you can black them, you can grill them. And he goes on and on and on throughout the whole entire movie of how many ways you can cook shrimp. Along with the different ways to prep, to cook, there are also multiple different types of food and coming from different regions. So the culinary world is broken up into two. You have baking and pastries, and then you also have like the normal savory food. Along with that comes a famous quote from Julia Childs, and she says, "People who love to eat are always the best people," and I must completely agree with that. What happens when we have a get-together? You eat. When someone has a baby, you take food so they can eat. Someone passes away, you take food. So no matter what we do as people, we're always eating. We love to eat. And as Americans, we definitely love to eat. So, along with loving to eat, a lot of people love to cook. So my favorite thing to cook is anything that deals with dough. Preferably like bread, cinnamon rolls, croissants, anything like that. So my recent favorite recipe is cinnamon rolls. So these cinnamon rolls are amazing. You start off with making the dough. You have to have all the ingredients room temp, so it's eggs, milk, melted butter, yeast, sugar, and bread flour. And that's it. No salt, no nothing. Just that. So once you have all of your ingredients, you mix it together, and then you have to knead the dough for 8 minutes. Exactly, 8 minutes, because it gets it to the right consistency, the correct elasticity, and it just helps like get that gluten well mixed and activated. So once you've mixed it for 8 minutes, you have to transfer the dough to an oiled bowl. So once you transfer the dough to the oiled bowl, the trick is you have to cover it with wax paper, and then you put a towel over it, and you let it rise. You proof it in the oven, and then once it's done, you let it rise for an hour and a half. You take it out, you roll it out like a jelly roll. You put softened butter, cinnamon, and sugar, and then you roll it up. You cut it into 9 slices with a serrated knife, because that makes all the difference. And then you have to put it in a pan, let it rise for another 45 minutes, and then bake it. Once you bake it, then you make a cream cheese icing, and you frost it. And there you go. Thank you.